All right, welcome to the 8th grade Habitudes podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Wells, along with my co-host, Tinlee Baughn, and we are here interviewing. Tinlee, who do we have to interview today?
Akarra Hill.
And why did we select Akarra to be interviewed today?
Because she's a good leader.
She is a good leader. Hey, I want the audience to know that today we have a live studio audience, so anything that you hear may be from my 3rd and 4th hour Habitudes class. Everybody who is in the live studio audience, why don't you give a round of applause? All right. Well, just like Tinlee said, we do have Akarra Hill in the studio with us today. Akarra, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Tinlee, I believe you have some questions that you wanted to ask Akarra today.
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
How do you become a leader?
Well, it's not easy, but it's something you you encourage others. You have to start off by being one of that student, you're out there, you put yourself out there, you're respectful to others, you're just nice to others, and
not like her.
Hey, I was thinking about it, and I think you're right, Akarra. I think you do have to put yourself out there. You have to be kind to others and all of that. But do you think you have to be an outgoing person to be a leader?
not really, no. I mean, you just need to know. I think it's important to know your rights, like what is right and what is wrong. Not like that. But I think it's also important to, be that person that
what?
I don't know,
Okay. All right. Well, what is it like being a leader?
it can be fun. It can be fun when people like to do what you do. It's fun when people are actually doing the right thing. It can be fun, but when it's not like that, it's not always going to be how you want it. Never, ever,
Well,
ever.
that's true. There are things that are different. Hey, we need to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back on the Habitudes podcast here with my co-host, Tinlee Baughn, and our leader of the day, which is Akarra Hill. Now, before we left, what was it that you were getting ready to ask Akarra?
What does it really mean to be a leader?
Well, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean to be encouraging. It can mean to stay on top of things.
Well, let me ask you this, Akarra. As we're thinking about this, do you think that a lot of different people can lead in a lot of different ways?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not every leader is probably going to be like you.
No.
No. There would be probably different leaders. Everybody has their different types and styles of leadership. Now, I noticed we had a question written down, Tinlee. I think this is an interesting question. What is this next question here?
Is it overwhelming being a leader?
Is it overwhelming being a leader? Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because there's a lot of different ages and different mindsets, and I feel like not everyone has the same mindset as you. Not everybody will agree with you.
Do you think leaders ever get tired of being leaders? Do you think they just, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think they just wish they could just follow the crowd?
Sometimes. Depends on the crowd you want to follow.
I mean, what do you think, Tinlee?
I don't know. It really depends on who you are and how you lead.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions you want to ask?
I have one last one.
Okay.
What are the challenges you face while leading?
There's a lot, but the main one is people not wanting to follow at all. Just wanting to do their own thing, and which is okay. I mean, it's your life. But to a certain level in certain places, I mean, nobody nobody wants to be that person. They just, I don't know. It really depends on your mindset and how mature you are in the mind.
Okay. Well, hey, I think that's really some great insight. Hey, I want to thank you, Akarra, for coming on the podcast today. We are really glad to have you, and I think it's important to remember. Now, Tinlee, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying before, but the saying is, everything rises or falls on leadership. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of truth to that. Not all truth, because sometimes it's important to be a really good follower in some cases, but it's also important in some cases to be a really good leader. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have left for today. I want to thank you both. I want to thank you, our studio audience, for being in here today and being such a great audience. And for those of you listening, it has been great to have you. Make sure that you click like and subscribe. Enable your notifications so that you can see all of our great content. Talk to you later.